5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new edition of Getting Color right here on the BigVitoBrand.com. I am Virtue, being joined by the man himself, looking stylish as always, fresh off of a day at Disney World, I believe, Big Vito LaGrasso. What's up?
How's everybody? What's going on? It's the BIGV from the LOG, fresh off a Disney trail. And, you know, I was such in a hurry and so happy today that I cut my little chin, doing a little quick shave. So, I mean, just trying to please the fans out there and Virtue's no DQ. And give Aaron Riff something to talk about because he'll probably come up with, his arm in a sling or a black eye or something to try and top it. You know how he flows these days, right?
Yeah, dude, and you called me out on posting profile pics all over my social media as like the
Yeah,
next Aaron Rift. Well, fall, I'm a Halloween baby, right? So
right.
when the fall hits, when October hits, I love it. So when those leaves start changing, we got a lot of trees here in Northeast Ohio. I'm gonna Aaron Rift it up and put it all over social media,
More
just for
del-
you, Vito.
more deliverance photos. I see it coming. I actually, if anybody out there, one of my favorite songs of all time is "Dueling Banjos." If anybody ever listened to it, and
Yeah.
one of my favorite instruments is the banjo. Now, I could never play an instrument. I'm just not coordinated enough to play an instrument. Maybe do a little something, but
Tambourine or whatever, the
no,
something like that.
not that easy. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But like I had a drum set when I was a kid. I had an electric guitar. I've been around pianos a lot, whether you believe that or not. I have, and one of the things is I've always wanted to play a musical instrument, but my favorite one of all time is the banjo. Now I'm going to tell you my secret wrestling dream.
yes, please do.
My secret wrestling dream was
Now hold on a second here, because I have Do you want to do the "What's on Vito's Mind" topic right now to kick off the show?
Yeah, we do started off happy. Started off happy. So, all right, here we
Okay,
go.
okay.
Vito's secret wrestling dream. Since I like dueling banjos so much, my thing was to challenge The Rock, him playing a guitar, me playing a banjo on Monday Night Raw. And for this Italian tough guy to come on there, challenge The Rock, and end it in a friggin' banjo solo that would wipe the streets with him. That's never been done in wrestling. It's never been done on TV. That's the ultimate thing I
Fine.
think people would do. And imagine if there's 15,000 in the stands, the people in the back are in there, right? All the boys and girls, all the guys who work for WWE, they get to hear this in pre-recording because, of course, you practice, and they get into it, and you think that they would get into it, but imagine 15,000 fans clapping to dueling banjos
Dude,
and
money. You
dancing.
versus The Rock. Oh my God, Vito.
Yeah, that's
We
it.
need we need more of that stuff today. We
If
do.
we had stuff like that, and like when The Rock used to sing his songs and get on the guitar, make fun of Cena and all that kind of stuff, and Vicky Guerrero, that was the kind of stuff that made you watch and you love wrestling.
I agree.
So, all right, man, go ahead. That's Vito's inside secret dream. But go ahead.
Nice. Well, look, I enjoyed that story there, and let's start off with so since Roman Reigns has been back, SmackDown, or we can even just say since the Thunderdome, since they've been starting to do those Thunderdome shows. I
Right.
think it's the Amway Center, whatever, in Orlando, the Magic's basketball stadium arena. Ratings for SmackDown have been up, and last week it was the highest they were since WrestleMania, since pre-WrestleMania. So, I'm sitting there touting, go Roman, you're back. It's exciting. Raw's tanking. And this past Friday, they did 1.95 million. They dipped back down like 300,000. And it's weird to have a trend upwards. Everything's looking good, and then boom. The only thing that really they were up against Friday night, I think 9 o'clock, the Magic and the Nuggets game 1 came on. What's your take here? I know this happens once in a while. I know once in a while a rating will spike down. That's why if you look at averages, right? Because then if
Right.
there is just one low rating, it's kind of an anomaly. Is this going to be something trending? Are people already burned out of the Thunderdome? Are they not digging Roman heel? What do you think?
I'm going to give you my honest opinion, guys. And I just think people are tired of wrestling. And I just think they fluctuate what float. If it's raining, we'll stay in, we'll watch wrestling. If it's nice out because it's the end of the summer, going into the fall, they're going to go do things on Friday night. Remember, everybody's been on lockdown and everybody's been locked up. So if you have a chance to go out and do something on a Friday night, what are you going to do? You're going to sit home? You're going to watch wrestling. I'm
Yeah,
getting the hell out.
yeah.
Like
I
this Friday night, guys, um, I forget what we were doing. I went to the gym. I did a couple of things. And where was I at? Because it's starting to open up. I was at the country club on the golf course. I haven't been there like forever to go have dinner. But there we were sitting there having just having dinner, and it felt a little funny being in there. And a couple of my friends, a couple of doctor friends of mine, say, "Hey, Vito, man, we haven't seen you in a long time. Want to come over to our house for drinks afterwards?" So I said, "Sure." I said, and here I am hanging out with some doctor friends of mine, and they had just bought a $500,000 house. This house was beautiful. It was gorgeous, and it was on the lake, and he's sitting there, and it was 2 minutes from the country club. They actually walked there and back. I took my golf cart back. But I mean, you talk about brand new house, $500,000. The counter, the island counter, Virtue, I shit you not, this thing could have sat 8 people comfortably. That's how big the island was in this house.
big ball and I love it.
Yeah, and he had a separate dining room where, like I said, "Hey Doc," I says, this is a beautiful living room, dining room. I says, but you know, this would be great for a pool table. He said, "That was my thoughts." Till my wife had to put it in.
I
That was
love pool.
Yeah, pool's awesome. And then he had the backyard looking at he had the lanai looking at the water. Guys, talk about good living. Always buy a house where you could look at the water. Settling is beautiful at night.
Well,
Nothing
that's
like
a good analogy. Like people want to get out, and we're getting close to fall. Summer's ending. I think it's right around the first day of fall here, and so yeah, that makes sense, and that's going to make the ratings fluctuate, and that's why when I kind of look at them, because people love when I analyze stuff like that. I do the averages, and there's always anomalies, but it was interesting that it
I gotta
felt
ask you. I gotta ask
Raw's
you a
been,
question. I gotta
yeah,
ask you a question. You brought up Roman Reigns.
yeah,
Obviously, he's doing well with Paul Heyman. Okay,
it's
what's
different for him. I
it's
like it.
different. People are digging it. I could see the people liking it. What's the deal with the Usos? Are they both with Roman, or one is with Roman? Is one on the injured list? What's going on with the Usos?
Jay is the one currently he's going to be challenging Roman for the title, but it's like they're doing it like family versus family. But ultimately Roman's probably going to get heat out of this and do something dastardly. I don't know where Jimmy has been. I think that's Naomi's husband. Jimmy's been the one that's got the DUIs and stuff. He might be hurt, or he just might be off, or he might be
Might
held
be
back and he's going
COVID
to get involved.
19.
COVID-19, or he could be involved with this and they're holding him back and he's going to get involved with this match. Maybe they'll split the Usos initially. One will side with Roman as a lackey. I don't know, but that's a great point. We're going to have to kind of see. I have not seen any news, or if I did, I missed it about Jimmy.
Usually when they are out of that's why I asked. I said usually when they're out of action, if you notice the trend WWE has been doing, guys, you look at what's going on, and every time somebody has a COVID, they disappear off TV. They don't say nothing, and all of a sudden they appear. Now the point you made about Roman turning heel. Now if he turns on his family and screws them, especially with Heyman. And then, it gives them another title shot with Jay coming back. I could see him screwing the Samoan dynasty and Roman actually saying he's bigger than The Rock, bigger than the Samoan dynasty. He is the ultimate. And that sets up possibilities for maybe The Rock versus Roman
Yes,
Reigns at WrestleMania,
WrestleMania, big money
which
match.
which people would watch, and it could be where The Rock comes back, and maybe he beats Roman. I think so. With Brock maybe interfering, you never know, guys.
Yep. Well, let's move on. I always love to plug my article at NoDQ.com for the week. And this week I posted one about Chris Jericho and what has happened to Chris Jericho. Now, he had a great couple of years after WWE with the New Japan stuff. he had the New Japan World app got a huge spike when he started doing matches over there. People from over here were signing up. They wanted to see this stuff. Then he signed with AEW. Great start, Vito. Won the title, beat Hangman Page, had an initial run. But in my article, I just pointed out, AEW could never hit that initial 1.4 million they did the first night. It's almost like they were sharing that amount of people with NXT every week.
We discussed that.
February, Jericho loses the title to Moxley. And since it just like he hasn't had the ambition to go back after character-wise, and he's mixing up trying to get guys like indie guys over, like Orange Cassidy, Jungle Boy. Now he's teaming with Hager in the tag division, which just has so many teams. WWE hardly has any tag teams, and they mess the tag division up where AEW might have too many tag teams. I don't know, man. I don't know if Jericho's going to re-sign when his 3-year contract is up, which he's already halfway through. I feel, Vito, and I want your opinion here, he likes to keep his options open, and I feel he's a little disinterested lately, but he's a professional, and he plays it off well. Demo God. He always makes it look like everything he's doing is for a purpose. I think he leaves AEW, maybe take some time off of wrestling coming up, and I think maybe the EVPs there, Cody, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, I think that he might have a sour relationship with that just because those guys get those big titles, but are they really qualified for that job? What is your take here? Am I just overanalyzing Jericho, or is there some substance to maybe he's just not quite as happy as he was?
All right, guys. So let me just get down. You made a good article. You make some good points. Now let's go through the numbers here. Jericho promotes AEW. He is the reason they are on the map. He is the reason they are relevant. I don't think anybody else in there had any credibility now whatsoever. That's no disrespect to anybody in AEW, but what's right is right. Chris Jericho was the shining star of this promotion. I mean,
some people will say Moxley too because of his Dean Ambrose rub.
But before Moxley came along, okay, who were the most credible guys? And I think we said it on the show. You got a guy named Billy Gunn who's the biggest guy in that locker room and probably could still be champion, and he's an agent, and they are not using him, right? So you look at Billy Gunn as being a legit star, Jericho being a legit. Cody is still not a legit star. The Hangman Page and the Young Bucks and everything, they didn't have TV exposure. Cody Rhodes never made it to being any kind of star. I mean, even now, his shining star is flat, right? So what do the guys got? So they bring Moxley in. Moxley takes over for Jericho, okay? And they had a good program. But since then, Jericho's been in this lull where he's been in these feuds where the promos are good, you watch, but they're kind of like you said, they drifted down the mid-card. Now, I tend to believe that maybe when you have the boys running the dressing room and have the job, that there's too many bosses to stir the pot. Right, Virtue? Would you say that?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Would you say, now you tell me, the Young Bucks and Page and what's the other guy's name? Omega?
Well, there's Omega, Cody, and the Young Bucks, I believe, and Brandy to a point are all the ones with management power.
All right, they're all management power. Now, are all these guys in championship matches?
Cody was with the TNT title. Omega was a tag champ, and they've held the Young Bucks back. So it's like they're trying not to show the power card. But I have a sneaking suspicion within the next year, these are all these guys will be at the top.
But the top of what? That's
what wall of AEW. Of their bubble.
All right, of their so-called bubble. Now, when you talk about legit star, now Moxley has carried the title. He has done a wonderful job. Jericho's done a wonderful job as champion. But like when you after that, how is Brody Lee doing as TNT champion?
It's still kind of early. I mean, he beat Cody pretty convincingly, and so now they're trying to make him look dominant. But keep in mind, he did lose to Moxley in a match.
Yeah, but they screwed that push-up, just like they screwed a lot of push-up. Big guy come in. I did it to Archer. They did it
Yep.
to Moxley. They did it to Cage, right? So now they're trying to right the ship. But how does his situation and his entourage look? Do they look strong, or they look like a bunch of indie guys just following the lead?
A bunch of indie guys following the lead. Now, it is a little bit better than it was like 6 months ago. But yeah, it doesn't look like that WWE quality, which I even question some of their stuff lately, like that Retribution. So I'm suspect on that, Vito.
Okay. Now they just hired Miro. Miro comes in, he gets a pop. Everybody's like, okay, Rusev Day is back, fan favorite. They drop the ball with him, they let him go. Now, with Rusev in the mix, right now he's babyface, correct? Huge.
Yeah,
Would
yeah.
you say?
That's a start for him. Yeah, babyface.
Where do they go and place Rusev? Put him with Brody Lee?
Probably not.
No, I can't see that feud. I just can't see it. I think they might have did it in WWE, but it didn't work. Where did they go?
Well, he's this best man type thing with this Kip Sabian, like we talked about last week. So I guess we're gonna have to see the next few episodes of Dynamite where they might be heading with Miro.
Did he
Interesting.
have did he have a dark match, or one of those matches where they put on AEW Dark?
I don't know if he's. I have not seen it. He might have, but I have not seen a Miro match yet since he's been there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up with this. So yeah, with Jericho, we'll have to see. I mean, he always surprises you when you least expect it. But I don't know, just something seems a bit off. But he's such a professional. He makes you think that everything that's being done is what he wants, and maybe it is. Maybe it is. Raw. And I love to talk about Nia Jax too, so that's going to be all wrapped up into this one topic, Vito.
Okay.
Miro debuted not this past Wednesday, but the week before on Dynamite, right? The very next Monday Night Raw, which is the show his wife Lana is on. She jobs out in the match, right? Expected. We know that stuff. And then I'm watching. They have Nia Jax put Lana Samoan drop through a table. When was the last time Lana ever went through a table? I mean, and it was at Nia safe worker Jax nonetheless. What is your take on this? This is clear. Russo said this is their petty Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon BS because they're not happy with Lana and her social media. Miro calling out Vince and WWE on AEW on Jericho's podcast. What's your take here?
100% correct. I will say it again. 100% done on spite. They're gonna bury Lana. Her husband left. I know she's doing a wonderful job on social media with her Twitch, with her TikTok, with all her stuff that she's doing on her own to make a few bucks. But WWE, instituting this, we own your name, we own your real name. You cannot do this and you cannot do that. Guys, what happened to the term you are a independent contractor? You can work and do as you please. If you are not a WWE employee, why are you only situated to work for one company? Why do they own you? Why do they own your rights? Why do they own your look? Why do they own your real name? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, crazy.
It's ridiculous. And despite, I'm going to tell you, I don't remember the last time Nia Jax ever put somebody through a table, let
Yeah.
alone did a Samoan drop outside the ring. But guys, if you're looking to bury somebody for petty stuff, that is true 100%. WWE, I'm going to get you. And that's what it was.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, and I'm sure, given time, she'll be out of there. But she played the professional role. She did it. She didn't
She did
back
it.
down.
It back
She's
down.
like,
She did it.
yeah. So I mean, to that point, I'll give Lana props.
Yeah, definitely. If you put her
Yeah,
over. You know
yeah.
what's another thing that bothers me?
What's that?
Renee Young, she did it like I think we spoke about. This is the same thing I'm talking about, guys. Moxley goes over, knocks the WWE, does his things, champion. He's bringing ratings for those people. They drop the ball on him. Then they have Renee Young, and she says, "I'm not resigning my contract," and they might make her sign a no compete clause for her
Yikes.
for her to go and not work in any wrestling companies for a year. Now, how could you do that if you're an independent contractor? How
Is it
could
a
you do
year
that?
or 90 days?
No,
Usually,
no, for her it was a year.
was it interesting?
1 year.
Wow. That's WWE again for you.
Now, Brock Lesnar put a lawsuit against WWE, if everybody remembers, and he won because you can't stop anybody from making a living. If you really want to push and shove, there's a lot of things you can do, but you have to put it in a lawsuit form. You can only do it if you don't work for WWE, right? But then
Yeah.
again, if you do it during WWE, they're going to get you. So your hands are tied no matter what. And where are there six-figure contracts rolling around these days? I don't see them.
Yep. It's crazy that they can control that, and
Here's
they make
another
these
thing.
loop. And you notice all these other wrestlers that they pull this crap with in their contracts never want to take Vince and WWE to court. Brock does, right? Brock with the big bucks, and he's like, he's not going to get bullshitted. But most people don't do what Brock did; they just eat it,
Nah,
right?
most people are not Vito LaGrasso either. They take the
Yeah.
WWE to court and do their thing in a concussion lawsuit, which is still going on, which is still under appeal, which is still being written about. And guys, believe me, you haven't heard the last of that. But let me ask you a question. Here's a good question since you're in the analytics end. You
Okay.
know, AEW talked about being this great company and doing everything and, giving everybody contracts and being competitive and having medical. Do you have any clue what these guys are making that they're under contract?
No, and I don't think all the workers have. I think it's just the people in the office. So they can say, "Oh yeah, we're offering our wrestlers health benefits, this and that." Well, it's probably the ones that are EVPs, like the Bucks, Omega, and Cody. But all the other workers that they've signed, it's probably just a wrestling contract.
And you
So
don't, and you,
yeah,
and they said when they said they have guaranteed yearly contracts, you think that they've had a lot of show and a lot of talk, but a lot of these guys are just pay per night, or the contracts they got are very low guarantees.
yeah, I think low guarantees, some pay by appearances, just ways to bring them in. And I know AEW is probably a little more flexible than WWE for letting them go work other dates. But I mean, it's like Moxley might go work Japan, stuff like that. Nothing too big, but that's very interesting, Vito. And I haven't heard much from that. And the AEW fan base will defend them. Oh, everybody, Tony Khan knows what he's doing. He runs a football team too. Well, I
Guys, can
bet you
I
it's only the EVPs that,
guys
and
can I
like
enlighten
Brandy.
you? I want to enlighten you in something. When was the last time? Now, here we're not gonna bury. We're talking facts. When was the last time you seen Vince McMahon get on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, on anything, Facebook, come out and defend his company?
Never. The only time he does anything, and that's even if he controls his Twitter, is when he wishes people like John Cena a happy birthday.
Right. Okay. That's exactly my point.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
You have Tony Khan interacting and defending, making himself look small, looking himself look indie. Not that he's not a good boss, not that he's not doing a great job, but when you dabble in you get into spats online and little in fights on Twitter, it makes you look very very amateur. And I can't believe for a minute that you're that, you know,
well,
I
for people of power like that, absolutely. I mean, people of power like that, like somebody like me going out and having a verbal Twitter feud and gimmick, different. But yeah, Tony Khan doing it, come on, man.
have you ever seen, now
Serious.
here's another comparison, guys. Now Tony Khan is involved in football. Now if he's involved in football, have you ever seen any other owner get vocal on Twitter and fight with fans and fight with people?
No, I can't say that I have. I mean, I'm sure I would have heard about that.
In basketball, who is probably the most vocal guy you'll see owner wise?
Cuban.
Cuban.
Yeah.
And why does he do it? Because it's cheaper to do and pay to fine instead of advertising. True
Yeah.
story. He said this a long time ago, which makes sense. Pays $100,000 fine, but it costs $500,000 to advertise. Okay, I'm gonna go get fined. I'll pay the NBA. I just got my name out there, my calls and everything for $100,000.
Well, and that's interesting where this all led. And like I always like to do this show is take us just a brief break from the wrestling talk because it can be so overwhelming. NBA bubbles going on, right? Disney World, you were at Disney World. You gave me a Disney World yawn a little bit earlier because
Yeah.
that wears you out. Here's where we're at right now in the NBA bubble. The Heat are up over the Celtics 2-1. The Celtics did win the last game. And the Lakers are up 1-0. As we're doing this, game 2 is going on. The
Right.
last score that I saw was halftime. Lakers up by 10.
Lakers up
So
by 10. Go to your phone and check. Go to your phone and check. We are having a Lakers score check right now. You got your phone?
I don't have my phone on me.
Hold on
So
a second. Hold on a
you
second.
can
Let's see.
check.
I'm going to do this right now. Hold on,
So yeah,
guys.
the Clippers were ousted by the Nuggets and Vito. As you're looking up the score, and I think LeBron's going to get his 4th ring now. I think I really do, and especially if you tell me that they're about to go up 2-0.
Line. It's coming. Lakers
Like I said,
score
like I said, they
82-81.
ooh,
And I think we're in the fourth quarter.
who's up?
Lakers are up. And they
So it's
just
anybody's
started.
game. So it's anybody's game right now.
Right. They
Interesting.
just started the fourth. Now, guys, all right, let's go to the Clippers, right? What a disappointment and bust the Clippers were, especially after what they gave up for Paul George. 5 first-round draft picks to fall short. That is a huge disappointment, a bust.
They lost 3 in a row, and they had double-digit leads in every one of those games.
Guys, Clippers do not have it. Now, do you blow up the Clippers like they're talking about doing? Virtue,
They're going to give it another. The big change that would come there, Paul George and Kawhi are going to ride again. Doc Rivers' job could be on the line, but that would be the only thing in the next couple of years that would change. I think Clippers are all in with these players they got. They might change the role players. Like Lou Williams flat out disappeared. I don't even think he wanted to be in the bubble.
Yeah. Now,
So
a coach who would probably thrive at the Clipper job is OKC's coach who just got fired.
oh yeah, Billy Donovan, something like that.
Donovan. Very interesting point. Okay, that's one NBA team on my hit list. The second one that I would totally dismantle and destroy is the Houston Rockets.
Oh, absolutely. No
James
question.
Harden, you need to go.
Yeah. And
I
Westbrook.
don't know. But wait a second. I don't think it's Westbrook.
So I think Westbrook just can never mesh with anybody. But I definitely agree with you on James Harden as well.
But they
He's a
said
volume
that
player.
but they said that about Chris Paul too. So is Chris Paul and Westbrook and Carmelo. Those are 3 legit NBA superstars. They went through Houston and they left Houston with nothing. Who's the problem?
Well, that's a good point. And it could be the volume guy in James Harden. It's all about the regular season stats. But when it comes to playoff, boy, does that guy disappear.
He chokes, and he is not a money ball player. He is not Vito LaGrasso of the Knicks. No way, no shape or form. You are a bust, James Harden. I would keep Westbrook because I think if they built around Westbrook, they got a coach and they could do it. James Harden is a proven failure. He is not a money go get a championship kind of guy. James Harden is a wingman to somebody. What I could see him going to play for the Lakers. I could see him going to play for Golden State Warriors. No, I'm being honest with you.
No, I know. Warriors will pull something. They'll get like a him, or they'll get the Greek guy on the
Giannis.
Bucks. Yeah.
Okay. Another thing right now is the New York Knicks are on the carpet. What do? Do they trade up for LaMelo Ball, or the 2 destinations for Chris Paul and Westbrook are the New York Knicks? Do the Knicks take a chance and bring Westbrook in? Do they bring in Chris Paul, who's a steady veteran and probably can guide them?
I'm up for anything with the Knicks. They got to start winning. I just want the Knicks to be a playoff team again, right? I mean, I ain't going to say championship yet. I just want them
Uh,
to be competitive.
they were talking about trying to do Van Fleet and Chris Paul. That would be a small backcourt, but potentially explosive.
Well, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed because they need to do something, But yeah, we'll see what happens by next week, right? These series might be closer to being over. We might finally have a finals. But I'm calling it now with the 4 teams that are left. LeBron's going to win his 4th title.
You're saying LeBron is going to be? Oh yeah, and that's another thing with LeBron. He got robbed this year of the MVP award. Giannis did not win that MVP. He might have had stats, but you're talking about most valuable player. LeBron has carried the Lakers to the conference finals. LeBron is going to carry these guys through the finals. And I think LeBron will win the conference. I think he'll win the MVP, the title. So how are they judged? Virtue, give us your take on why this is never, LeBron's award, and he clearly is the best player.
Because the Bucks had the best record in the league, and Mr. Giannis had the stats, and just like baseball, they always pick the regular season guys on the best teams before the playoffs start, and that's what happened. And LeBron was coming on; he had 3 huge games before the lockdown.
Yep,
so had the season continued, LeBron might have made a case and ended up winning it. I mean, you know what I mean? If the season ended up regular, but I don't know, man.
But they go for stats, guys. It's the most valuable player of your team. How the team does without you. Giannis, okay, I could see the Bucks not being nothing, but the Lakers in the prime time, in the Western Conference, let alone, that's tougher than the East.
Mm-hmm.
Kemba Walker could have been the MVP of the Celtics, and could have been MVP. He brought the team to the playoffs. He's running them. Now they won tonight. But Kemba Walker is no slouch. There are a lot of great players. Look at the Joel Embiid or Simmons or anybody else out there. Tatum had another monster game. I just don't get the stat thing. I really don't.
I think that'll be a 7-game series, but we'll see. We'll talk about it more, obviously. Now, here's our main event topic, back to wrestling. Guess who's back in the wrestling news the last week or so, a few days? She's working out with Roddy Piper's daughter, and she's actively teasing things on social media, calling out Becky Lynch and various things, but one Miss Ronda Rousey. She never did get pregnant. Nope, Becky was the one that's pregnant. I think Ronda is coming back, and I think she's coming back soonish, maybe in January at the Royal Rumble. Money talks. What do you think here with Ronda Rousey? I think she does have another few matches left. That's my take.
Wow.
What do you think?
No. I'm saying Ronda Rousey in the ring training. Okay. Now, evidently, the baby making machine for Ronda Rousey, the clock's ticking. It ain't happening for some reason that we don't know. And that's what she wanted. She wanted a family. She wanted to be on a farm. For some reason, nothing. The WWE needs star power. For her to tweet Becky Lynch and Becky Lynch didn't have the baby yet, come on, man.
Sounds like a WWE thing. Told her to do it. You know what I mean? Because of the way they operate.
No, I get you. But for her to, guys, when you're in the real world, are you really going to call out a pregnant woman?
Well, some trailer park moms and stuff like that. But
trailer park, but you're talking about Ronda Rousey, world champion, MMA champion, wrestling champion, upper echelon people, money maker. Virtue, I just don't think that was I could see her coming back if there's fans in the stands.
Well, yeah, and that's why I think it'll be delayed, and we'll have to wait and see. Like right now. But, I mean, Roman came back without fans, so you never know. And maybe the thing with Brock Lesnar being a free agent, they're like, it's not working out with him right now, so they're going for Ronda, and maybe a deal was struck. But we're going to definitely have to stay tuned because last time the women's division was main event level was when Ronda was there. And I have people coming at me on social media, well, they got Bayley and Sasha. Look, as soon as Ronda left, Becky held her own for as long as she could.
Right.
Then when Becky left as well, they don't treat those women as main event equals anymore.
No, and Charlotte is not there either.
Right, and she'll come back too, but I don't know when. But Ronda Rousey, there you go. We'll see what happens.
Now, guys, we talked about prominent women, and I know a lot of people get on the women's matches. What's your take on the women's division down at AEW? You think they're giving them their fair share of matches, which I don't think they are.
No, and they just don't
talent
have enough.
Is.
Yeah, too much green. Just they don't have that. They need to bring in some buzz, like a Tessa Blanchard, and I don't even know if she would help, but they need some growth there for sure. And again, the AEW diehards, oh, it's doing just fine. They're coming along nicely. No, they need some help, but we'll see. Kenny Omega supposedly runs that as the EVP. Supposedly runs that women's division. I don't know.
You know, my buddy Duke of Wrestling, everybody knows. You know Duke, right?
Yep.
On Twitter, okay? Now, he buries AEW all the time because he doesn't give the AEW does not promote women's matches in any way, shape, or form. When they opened up, we are going to give women the fair share. We're going to make them, equal pay. We're going to do this. Lied, lied, and lied.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, right now Ronda is lurking, and AEW's women's division is what it is. Still nothing great. Maybe that's AEW's fault, Kenny Omega's fault, whoever's in charge. I don't know. In closing, Vito, another great show as always, but maybe this will be a weekly topic we do, or maybe every other episode. But I wrote down on my paper, what's on Vito LaGrasso's mind? Like a segment. Is that something you want to explore right now, or do you want to leave a cliffhanger for maybe next week's episode on that topic?
Guys, I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. Last couple of weeks, I know Virtue asked me about the concussion lawsuit, and just in the same time frame, you had Vince McMahon saying everybody's got to shut down Twitch, shut down their accounts, shut down everything. And I think when you try to overpower people and you try to use certain avenues to get your way, I think it all comes back to power to get you. And there has been a lot of talk of dissension in the ranks, people not happy, people wanting to leave, And guys, let me tell you something. When you're an independent contractor, you can do what you want. Nobody owns you. Nobody has rights on you. Nobody could say this is my image. You can't use it. How could you not use yourself when this is the way you look? Going on Twitch and going on these other avenues, which is not WWE related, why can't you go mesh with the fans? Why can't you go do these things?
Because Vince McMahon ain't making money off of that. That's probably why he's doing this.
Guys, remember one thing in life. Stand up for what you believe in, because in the end, you're going to win. Never bow down to somebody who holds something over you, even though they're giving you a paycheck. Guys, have some integrity. Do something about it. Don't sit there and be a slouch. Remember Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful World. He had all the money in the world, but he was a miserable old man, and he wanted to have everything. Pottersville, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have George Bailey, right? And what did they say about George Bailey, right? He didn't have nothing, but he's got friends. And when you have friends, you got everything in the world.
Well said, Vito. Well said. I like this segment. We'll definitely be bringing it back.
Virtue, what's on your mind? We always talk about what's on your mind these days. Besides
I've been just grinding along, but I need to give up fantasy sports, man, because I get so worked up on Sundays. Well, now I'm doing better overall with my 4 fantasy football teams this week than last week, but I watched one of my teams lose because of a kicker. And I need to give that up, Vito. I need to reduce stress in my life, right? Being sick with the stomach bug and dehydration, coming back with digestive issues and slowly getting back to 100%. My doctor said, Dave, you need to get Mr. Stallworth, get rid of stress in your life. So that's what I need to start doing.
So the women in your life are cool. You got, hundreds of them because you're with the No DQ and you featured on the Big Vito brand.
I keep that life private with the crap that I went through a couple of years ago. But yes, Sugar Mama is out there, but I can't say we're too serious, but it's always nice to have a phone call.
Yeah, I tell you, that's the way I feel myself. And guys, if you ever got to get that second phone, right? Get OnStar. Get OnStar, guys. I got OnStar on my home, right? It's my second calling card, And the secret to OnStar, guys, you always make the call. You never accept the call. Then they know it's you.
Nice. I love it, Vito.
All right.
Great show as always. So, everybody, you can follow Vito on Twitter at the Big Vito Brand. You can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_virtue. Be sure and go to thebigvitobrand.com every day, every week, every month, and check out all the podcasts they put up there. I usually do one myself or with Robbie Weiss also, but the best show is Getting Color every week with Big Vito LaGrasso and myself right here on the BigVitoBrand.com. So for Big Vito, I am Virtue. Guess what, people? We'll be back. We'll see you next time.